Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo. Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. You always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Good morning, all. I hope you guys are doing well this Thursday. It's nice to see everybody in chat this morning. It's nice to see everybody. So this is Thursday, right? It's the day before Friday. We're all getting excited. It's almost that time for the weekend. I told you on Monday the weekend would be here before we know it. And here we go, right? Here we go. It's already Thursday. It's already Thursday. So let me see what's going on with my comments here. They're not going all the way up. There we are. Well, they're still not going up. Give me just a second. What's going on with my comments? I don't know what the heck is going on. Can't say hi to everybody if I can't see the comments. So I know Angela was one of the first people to say good morning, and I just can't seem to get up there for some reason. Let me see if I can go back out here, go back in here. There we go. Now I can see it. Sorry. Computer issues. You can't help it. So good morning, Angela. Good morning, Crazy Nurse. Angela was the first one to say good morning to Bullhorn Betty in chat this morning. So we always like to say hi to the first person, right? Crazy Nurse, Pen 1010. Nice to see you. Nice to see you this morning. You guys were having a nice little chat this morning. Tammy T, nice to see you. Bullhorn Betty is present. Swiss Miss, Karen Davis, Lipstick and Pepper Spray. Karen G. Who else do we have? Sonia, nice to see you here this morning. May. Got it. Belinda Freeman, good morning. Mike, nice to see you. Lex Luther, nice to see you as well. Sundown Farm, 777. Bounce, bounce, shake, shake, dancing. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm going to mix up some of the music. It is hard to do those things. A lot of people don't realize, at least for me, and it's funny because I was talking to another creator about an issue I was having on the computer, and they're like, oh, well, don't you do this? Don't you do that? And I'm like, no, I don't do that. I didn't know that was an option. Like, I didn't know that was an option, They're like, oh boy, like we need to take you to school. I'm like, okay, school me, because I need to know, if I'm doing things the hard way on YouTube, lighten up my day, right? Make it easier for me. So it looks like I may get a crash course in YouTube, which will help us a lot better, right? And it'll get more content out there, right? So you guys can enjoy it. Patty Ponytail, nice to see you. And it just bumped up on me. So Mama of 3, Leanna, Cass Stewart, or what is it? Kay Stewart. Sorry about that if I butchered your name. Patricia, good morning. They say good morning to Dazed. Sorry, it popped up on me. And of course, when it pops up, it just right on up. Sec 2, number 1. Good morning to you as well. Live chat reminder. Yes. And don't forget to, guys, as you're coming in here, please don't forget to go out and give me a thumbs up for this segment. We actually have Grandma Sherry. Good morning. Good morning. We actually have a lot of stuff that we are covering. And there's a lot of stuff out there in the YouTube land we're not going to cover. We're not going to cover. I'm not getting into the drama. We're not going to, feed into, as many of you guys know, I don't like the bullying and online harassment online, no matter who it comes from. And I'm just not going to partake in any of that. I don't like it. I don't want it. What's going on out there that is topic of conversation, I want no part of. Okay. And some of you guys may know what I'm referring to. Some of you guys may not. But if you don't hear it, I'm not discussing it. So it's just that simple. So Jamie Lynn, good morning. Who else do we have? Moonlight Magic. Oh, I like that. And Beth, good morning. Good morning to all. Good morning to all. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. So, there's a lot of stuff going on. A lot of questions in the Summer Wells case that we have. The real Andy B is making debut on YouTube and has set up his account and is starting to tell his side of the story or parts of it, right? People are tuning in because they want as much information or to watch them slip, to see if they're being deceptive, to see if there's something being hidden, to see if they are involved, right? It's just this nonstop, craziness out there on the streets of YouTube that are just eating this stuff up. And it's like, hopefully he's not like Jody Sue Brown, right? So we're hoping he's not going to just fill us up with a bunch of BS. We've watched the crap show Jody Sue Brown taking us on wild rides with unreliable information. And, when Andy wasn't even talking about the case, she went out and just plastered him all over the place, saying how he's doing this, he's doing that, and then she dirty deletes it or privatizes that video, right? She privatizes the video, and everybody's already screenshotted it. So now it's making its rounds around the streets of YouTube about this, and some of us just want to believe it because we've already thought it, but it's coming from Jody Sue's mouth. So it must, it makes us wonder what's true and what's false. It's coming from her mouth, right? She keeps talking about all these receipts she has, but she never produces any of them. I've got receipts, is what she says. All the time we hear this about how she's got receipts. You realize, Jody Sue, you got to do more than just say you have receipts. Typically, when people say, I have receipts, they provide the receipts that they have. Just saying. It's not all about just saying I have receipts. Okay. Just a little insight there. Miss Jody Sue Brown. So many of you guys know, as I always do, we've incorporated the language of letting go into our segments in the morning. I love this book. I just think it kind of just helps center people. And not only that, but if you just need a good, Crime Stories Obsessed. Hey, Emma, I hope you're doing well. I hope you are doing really, really well. So this is July 7th. It will get better. Sometimes things need to feel worse before they get better. Feelings are one of those things. When feelings come to the surface, it presents itself boldly. Usually the feeling being stirred up in ones we label unpleasant, fear, hurt, rage, guilt, shame, or deep sorrow and grief. They will feel intense for a while. For some feelings take a moment to come to the surface and clear. Other feelings take more time. Feeling the emotion that intensely means it's finally clearing out of our system. Even though it may feel like it's not really getting worse, it's healing. It's getting better. You're cleaning out the old wounds. To do that, you have to reopen it, but just for a little while. But finally, after you do it, it will truly heal. What do you need to do with your feelings? Acknowledge them, feel them, give each one its due. They like to be honored that way. Once you identify and feel them, then they'll go away. And each time you do this, the pond becomes clearer and clearer until we finally have pure water. Notice how you react to yourself when a feeling comes up and needs attention and care. Do you spend much time resisting the feeling as you actually do feel the emotion? Do you expand more energy than necessary, worrying that the feeling won't leave, that you won't be able to handle it, or that the feeling will take over your life? Continuously and deliberately relinquish your resistance to your emotional world. In March, we learned to say whatever as part of speaking the language of letting go. Now practice saying whatever in love to your feelings. God, give me the courage to face what I feel now and what I felt before and didn't have the resources to feel. Help me trust that this is the process that will help me feel better than I did before. And I think that goes right into the heart of, remember I told you, a lot of the problems was childhood trauma for me. And I had to purge that childhood trauma out of my life. I had to bring it up and finally look it square in its eyes and address it. That was the only way I was going to heal or get better. So I wanted to make sure that, and again, this is the book that I was reading as I was going through a lot of the processes that I was going through to get better. A lot of the stuff that was coming from me, what the actions I was doing, the stuff I was doing was a side effect of the pain that I was harboring. and for me to move on with my life and me to get my life better and me to let go of all that, I literally had to look at it. I had to speak about it. I had to address it. I had to fix it, and I had to let it go. Right. And that was the only way, hey, Melody, that I was able, hey, FBI, that I was able to get better. And, you know, here we are these years later. And now you have Bullhorn Betty, right? So we're here. FBI will work. At work eating lunch. Oh, it's lunchtime for you. It's morning time for me. I'm barely awake. Like I brushed my hair, brushed my teeth, grabbed my coffee, threw on some makeup, and was like, okay, now it's time to get to work, right? And then you have the whole process of, you know, from all the notes that you make to actually putting together a thumbnail, looking up all the stuff so you can present it to the channel. Lots of work, lots of work. It's never just easy. Some days are just easy. You know, like we don't have really an agenda or things to talk about, and we just want to come here and chit chat. Those are the easy days. Like I like those. Like when I do the girls' night out, it's fairly easy. It's just making a quick little thumbnail, and you don't really have any objective. You don't have any, you know, anything going on, and we can just get on the phone and talk and have a fun time and let the chat kind of just go where it's going. Oh, which reminds me, by the way, we are not doing girls' night out on Friday. We're actually going to do it Saturday night. So, and the reason why is because if you guys haven't noticed, Miss Cher is doing a fundraiser for an organization on Friday night. And she had asked me, you know, would I like to be in chat? I'm not on panel. I'm just going to be on chat, and we're going to hang out. We're going to enjoy the conversation and things like that. But it's going to be a fundraiser for an organization. And if you guys haven't had an opportunity to vote on which organization you want this funds to go to, head over to Cher's channel. She actually has a vote, you know, on like, I think it's like 4 or 5 different great organizations on there that we're going to raise money and you know, she's going to raise money for. We're going to be in there supporting the efforts and enjoying whatever we're going to be discussing that night. So just FYI, if you guys haven't gone over there, please don't forget to go over there and also get yourself a notification of that, because there's going to be a lot of people in that chat on Friday night. I can't remember if it was 7 or 8 or whatever, but either way, I will be there until I clunk out. You know me, I go to bed early. So I try to stay up. Like last night, I actually was able to stay up. I think I made it until like maybe 11, but I made up for it the night before because I went to bed at like 8. So good morning, all. Good morning, all. Also, we're going to go over, Cher sent me, her screenshots. I actually downloaded them yesterday and was meaning to, you know, read them to you. And this is also goes to Jody Sue, you know, because poor Jody Sue doesn't know what a receipt is, right? She just doesn't get, you know, receipts and how receipts work. You know, you actually have to produce the receipts that you're saying you have. I'm just making sure you understand that, Jody Sue. We can't just say we have receipts. Like I don't come up here and say I have receipts if I don't have receipts. And when I say I have receipts, I usually show the receipts I have. You know, I've got receipts. Okay, Jody Sue. Like the receipts that you saw, you know, 4 people on your property and you sent the video to the FBI. Remember that one? You were trying to imply that I was somehow at your property and I went live as soon as you said that. And like, Jody Sue, I'm not sure if you realize, but I'm sitting in Florida. I'm not on your property. Like, but you had receipts, right? To prove that I was there, right? That I was trespassing on your property. You have receipts for that while I was sitting in Florida. Just want to make sure the world does know how asinine that was. Just saying. I have never been accused of being all the way in Tennessee on somebody's property while sitting in the state of Florida. It was the most insane thing I had ever seen. But she did it, right? And she had receipts for that too. Okay. Unless you were in Florida, you ain't seeing Bullhorn Betty. Let's see here. So I had those receipts up. Give me just a second. I know I have those. I did want to show those to you because, you know, this is what receipts looks like. You know, she sent yesterday. There, it must be these right here. Let me pull these up. See what I got here. Oh, that's I got to show you guys these. Oh my God. Oh my God. Sorry. It's pushing all of my stuff over to my other screen instead of the one I needed to be on. All right, let's see if I can move. You guys are gonna have to give me a second. You know, I'm not good with this whole internet crap. Okay, let me show people what real receipts look like first. And we're gonna give another shout out to another creator. I'll hold these two until I'm done. Okay. Let me pull this up. Sorry, I can't quit laughing. It's too funny. It's too funny. You guys are going to get a kick out of it. You're like, what is she laughing at? I can't see it. I will promise you. I will show you. I will show you. I promise. But it's hilarious. It's hilarious. And I actually showed you guys yesterday. So this is a training session for Jody Sue Brown. So Jody Sue Brown, if you're listening, this is what these are receipts. Okay, this came from Cher, right? People are wanting to know what's going on with Dawn Wells, right? What's going on? We can pull this back real quick. What's going on with Dawn Wells, and where the heck is Summer? Or not just Summer, but Candace, right? Where's Dawn Wells? Where's Candace? Is Dawn Wells still in the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office, or has he been moved to treatment? Right? Has he been moved to treatment? Makes you wonder. Nobody's heard from Dawn Wells. Nobody's heard from Candace Bly. We obviously have been searching for Summer for over a year. We don't know where she's at. So where in the world is this entire family, right? And I don't want to speculate. You know, every time I call Hawkins County, they tell me that he's in jail. But would they be able to tell me if he was moved to treatment? I mean, HIPAA would apply. I would think that they may, but they're still under law enforcement custody. So would they still have to tell me he's in custody if he's not even in Hawkins County Jail? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I don't know the answer to that. But we do know Candace Bly is nowhere to be found. And it makes me wonder, did she come up there and get that canoe? You know, the day that the other creator was out there across the street. He said he saw a canoe, right? Coming out, and somebody sent me a photo of the, hey, Vicki, nice to see you. I don't know what that means. Anyways, Candace is in the Smoky Mountains area. I heard that she was in Chattanooga. That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true, right? She was in Georgia. She's in friend's house here, friend's house there. You know, she's couch surfing or something to that nature. I don't know. Crazy Pepper Linda, good morning, everyone. New to the channel, come from Doug Life's family. Love laughter first thing in the morning. And Jody Sue is a wackadoo. Well, then you're in the right place. You're in the right place. So, you know, it's crazy. So we're, you know, this is what receipts look like. Let me just show you. And again, Cher's trying to find out, you know, this is, we all know, even me, I know firsthand, Dawn Wells used to get tatered up, pick up the phone. If you couldn't get a hold of this person, couldn't get a hold of this, I would get a call at 11:30 at night, and he'd just want to talk for 2 hours. But he never wanted to talk about Summer. He never wanted to talk about the case. He wanted to talk about the resurrection and how he's going to see everybody in the afterlife. And, you know, just some weird off the wall comments when you have a missing, you know, 5-year-old child. And then when he is sober, he, you know, is a very calm. He wants to talk to you. He wants to tell you what you want to hear. And so I think Cher's like, you know, after Jody Sue came out with this bombshell that, you know, we've all thought in our mind was going on there, which is the problem we're having because it's coming out of Jody Sue's mouth, which makes it a lie, you know, at least for me. Oh, you're welcome, Ange. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. So we're sitting here wondering what in the world is going on with Don. You know, he went from calling. Many of you know I tried to set up several interviews with him. I was approved on the list. Set up video stuff. So you could have in-person visitation or online visitation, but there's certain requirements you have to have for online visitation. Many of you guys know I'm in Florida. So I tried to set up several online visitations that were approved and accepted and that were not canceled until the day of, like the minute of, like he just didn't come to the screen. So everything was going for, fees were paid, everything was going correctly for me to visit with Don, but he just never showed up. And I thought that was quite odd because he had no problem talking to me before and actually overtalked. And so Cher was sending me all this stuff. She, let me just get these in order. So this is showing that they were successfully sent. I just want to show you, this is what receipts look like, Jody Sue Brown. This is somebody that's actually put the receipts up. They don't just say they have receipts and then you never hear the receipts. You see it. She spent $9.50 to make sure that Don Wells could respond back to her, her emails. And so she's, I got the same exact one for both. So either way, I'll summarize. So, and I'm sorry, Cher, I'll summarize. But so she basically wrote Don Wells and said, hey, Don Wells, Jody Sue Brown is basically saying that, this was happening over in your house. She put this out to the public, to the audience, for everyone to see. And I just basically wanted you to know what was going on. And do you have any response? I mean, I guess that's pretty much the summation of what was in that message to him. And, she was also stating, maybe it's time for you to come clean or something to that effect. I wish I could read it to you, but again, I missed one of the pages when I was downloading. So I only got that one part. So we'd only have the top half, but not the bottom half. So either way, that's what a receipt looks like, Jody Sue Brown. Thank you, Cher, for reaching out, and trying to stay in touch with Don. I know I've tried to stay in touch with Don. He's just gone silent. And I think that's odd because there was a time when we kept saying, why doesn't this man just shut his mouth? Like he's digging his hole deeper. I don't know how many times we've come on here and thought, man, Don should just shut up, right? Man, Don should quit drinking at night and going on all these podcasts. Man, Don just needs to, and then Candace did it. And I don't know how many times I said, I don't like the lady, but here, lady, let me give you some advice, right? Like keep your mouth shut, get off YouTube. You are making a mockery of your daughter. You're making a mockery of yourself. You're making a mockery of this investigation. And you're looking like you're enjoying yourself at the expense of your daughter. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what all of this looked like, right? So we're just a little, perplexed. Now they're both just silent. The silence is deafening, right? Can't get a hold of Candace, can't get a hold of Don. Nobody's talking a lick, right? Keeps wondering what is truly going on behind the scenes. It's just too quiet, right? Don's too quiet. Candace is too quiet. Law enforcement is too quiet. The news is too quiet. It almost seems like nothing is happening, right? I mean, I believe in law enforcement. I believe that they're working. But you know what? The good news is when we were all there and we were all applying pressure, they were constantly having to respond and they were constantly having to give us messages and provide us updates. Now that we're all quiet, things are settling down a little bit. We're not even getting the sliver of information. So then what happens? Andy B rears his ugly head, right? Now all of a sudden, he's the big topic. He wants to be a YouTuber and tell his story. Well, Andy, I hope your story is not like your ex, Jody Sue Brown, with all of the cussing, all of the lies, all of the deception, I don't think so. I think he's got a med gas guy. I think he has a specific date for release. if I'm not mistaken. I don't want to say any more than that, but I believe he has a specific date of release. And it's not what it's not the dates I've been hearing circulate either, by the way. I've been hearing some dates. Karen, what did he say? Was it about, let me get over here. Was it about this case, or was it about another case, or was it about him? I mean, Chris McDonough is well known, as many of you guys know. He seems like a very good guy. Seems like he is very dedicated to helping. You know, he's got a long career as a law enforcement agent. He's part of the Cold Case, whatever his nonprofit is. You know, just seems like a really good guy that just, you know, loves law and order and wants to help whenever he can. Let's say good morning to Linda. She is a newbie to our channel. Well, good morning, Linda. We love to have you here. I don't see Candace or Grandis digging a hole. Have to think about easier ways, right? You know, but I think they've already dug their hole. I mean, that's just me. That's just my, you know, I don't think they need to dig anymore. It's like, stop while you're ahead. Just when you think you can't go any lower. It was about summer. Okay. Well, I'm interested in hearing about that. You want to give us just a little of the maybe bites, like, you know, how he what your thoughts were on there? And if you would, I'm going to be opening up the phone lines here in just a little bit. I'd like to, if you want to call in and just give us your thoughts on that, maybe that'll be the best time to do that, because I'd really like to hear that. Hey, Hellcat, hope everything's going. It was about the case. I watched it last night as well. Okay, well, I missed something. So, you know, and I see people putting in here that, you know, Andy B is about the money. And I'm thinking, you know, maybe he is. Maybe he is, because, you know, he left Jody Sue Brown, you know, seems like she's, you know, he's the worker. She's the, you know, I don't know. I don't want to speculate on that. So, but he's saying, talking about the timeline, and he's saying that he pulled up just shortly after 6:30, and I still need to find that. Remember, I did the text messages. I showed them. I actually played them on my live of the text messages from between Jody Sue and Andy Bernard that day, June 15th, to see what time. And it does appear, for all intents and purposes, that he did arrive home around 6:30, 6:45-ish. She was already down at the bottom of the road waiting for him because she wanted to leave. And as he's pulling in, apparently the law enforcement is behind him, and Don is behind law enforcement. And it's like saying, wait a minute, if they just called in law enforcement, none of these times are now jiving, because I can say that he was most likely, I remember he was leaving work. If I remember correctly on these texts, it was around 6:02. He was about a half an hour away. He would have been pulling in around 6:30. They made the call around 6:21 or something to that effect to call law enforcement that Summer was missing. And they're all pulling in at the same time, you know, just a few minutes later. It's starting, the timeline, even making it home, is now called into question now that Andy B has come out on to the YouTube streets. Like, we're sitting here scratching our heads saying, what? Like, Don said he wasn't there. He wasn't pulling in until like 7. I mean, it's a big difference between, you know, 6:30 something and 7. It's like a half hour. Even if you said cut it in half at 6:45, how would he have gotten there? So it was just odd. It's odd behavior. It's more questions than answers. You know, here we go again. You know, who's being truthful, who's not being truthful, you know. And I saw him, and he was addressing the selling of these substances, right? And I was looking at him, and you could tell he felt uncomfortable when he was talking about even, you know, marijuana, whatever. He seemed very uncomfortable, as if he had done it in the past. He's trying to convince us that he did not, you know, sell to children, didn't do this, didn't do that. Okay, I get it. But your body language is off when you're doing it. He was very uncomfortable when he was saying this. And I should have found the clip before I came on, but I didn't have time. So I will find that clip, and we will discuss that, because we're going to start focusing in on some of Andy B's statements. And, you know, putting those together with previous statements that we've already known and see what's what. I don't care to ever talk about that man's name again. I am going to prove that that man is not a licensed PI and has no business. And actually, to be honest with you, any place outside of Mississippi, if he's not literally in the state of Mississippi, he's not allowed to call him a PI, period. Or unless he's standing in other states. So he physically has to be in Mississippi to be called a Mississippi PI. Okay, so I don't know, I could care less where that man is a fool. I've talked to several PIs. He is nobody reputable at all. Nobody reputable. If you guys want a reputable PI, reach out to me and I will get you a licensed PI that has a background of doing this type of work, not some knucklehead arena football player that is a complete pompous. This world needs to do away with those. So if he's not literally in Mississippi, if he steps one toe outside of Mississippi, unless he's in another state that doesn't require a license PI, right? Because that's the only place he can work. He can only work in states that don't require licenses. Why? Because he cannot get a PI license. It's not rocket science. And I know for a fact he was sitting here in Florida soliciting clients. Know for a fact, without a question, he violated law. He knows it, and he knows I know it. And that's why he keeps trying to speak out. But I've got facts, and I'm taking those facts to the people that can prove it and the people that can help. So be on the lookout. And actually, as of this afternoon at 3:30, I am meeting with the Department of Agriculture. And any creator that wants to bring him on panel, I think it's very bad of you to consider him a PI if you have not confirmed that he's inside of Mississippi, because that's the only place he can classify himself as a PI, is in only one state, right? Now, if he wants to go over to Idaho, he can fly into Idaho and say he's an Idaho PI if he follows their rules. But the only place he's allowed to call himself a PI is when he's sitting in the state of Mississippi, when he's literally on the grounds of Mississippi. As soon as he comes out of that state, he's no longer a PI. Pretty simple stuff. Pretty simple stuff. So there was a baby. I don't know. Why didn't I see that this morning? Hold on, let me pull this back. I thought I sent that to me. There was a baby in Houston that was left in an apartment. I was sitting here. Huh. There it is. I was sitting here last night doing some research, because I go through stuff all day long. When I'm not online, I'm constantly thinking of content that I want to talk about the next day. Sometimes we hit it out of the park, sometimes we don't, right? But there's a lot of things going on the news these days with children. Kathy, if you're going to continue to be rude, actually, I'm not even going to address you. I'm going to let Monster address you. This chat, whether you like me or not, you will be respectful. You're not going to be nasty to me. You're not going to be nasty to other creators, and you're not going to be nasty to the chat. If you do not like what's coming out of my mouth or disagree, you're allowed to have your opposing viewpoint as long as it's said respectfully. You have no idea what you're talking about. Me and you keep going around and around about this. A journalist is protected by the Constitution. And if you read the law and understood the law, Catherine, you would understand that everybody that covers news is a journalist, period, under the Constitution. You don't even need a press badge, right? I go a little further to have that press badge. But you can't call yourself a private investigator when you don't do the job. And not only that, but there's so many laws in place to protect people like you that are too dense in the brain to know how to research a decent and proper private investigator. If you don't like the way I'm talking to you, then quit talking to me in the same manner. You see how that goes? You want respect? You talk to me with respect. You want to be disrespectful? I can throw that right back to you. Well, good. Then go have a printer. And if you ever come back on this channel again, we will continue to block you because I have a funny feeling you are Constance Suze, right? Am I correct about that? Is that your name? No, you didn't. You asked a snarky, childish question that you've always asked every time you come in here. And I just unblocked you and you're back to your own shenanigans again. I literally just unblocked you on this channel so you could come back in, and you are back to the same crappy person you were when I blocked you. So do you want to be a part of this chat, or do you not want to be a part of this chat? And I answered your question. I am protected and I follow the law, and I'm allowed to have that press badge. Guess why? Because I'm doing it lawfully. You guys are trying to act like this man is a licensed PI, and there is no licensure in Mississippi. So he can't say he's licensed because he's not. There's no license to be licensed. He's just allowed to hang a sign on his door that says, I'm a PI. That's all he has to do. And he has to do that in Mississippi. That is his only state he is allowed to be. His person has to literally be inside that state in order to call himself a PI. If he's doing his business from Florida, he is violating the law. Right? Watch Catherine 662. I just unblocked her, and she's back here with her own shenanigans mods. So if she's going to continue to be rude and disrespectful, I want her out of here. So now you got my attention, Catherine, and I answered your question. Are you happy? Or are you going to say the same thing tomorrow? Just curious. Lordy, literally just unblocked you. Now, it makes me wonder why I bother, and I'm going to put her on the list of never to unblock again. Don't block her. I'm giving her an opportunity. If you blocked her, unblock her. I'm giving her an opportunity to learn, because clearly she doesn't have an investigative bone in her body. Also, many of you guys don't realize, before we get into this little boy that was found, which, good morning, everyone. People getting under my skin already this morning. People getting under my skin, but that's all right. We have a heck of a lot more love in this channel than hate. And don't forget to thumbs up this channel. That would probably make Catherine 662 skin crawl that we have this chat with thumbs up. So make sure you thumbs up so you let her know she's probably in the wrong chat room if she's going to be a BHB hater. Just saying. Where was I? Oh, Molly Go Lightly. Molly Go Lightly. This is a crazy story. I haven't even gotten all the information yet, but we are probably, good morning, electronic medium, Sharon Tuck. Nice to see you guys. I am Team Summer, Be Betty fan. Nice to see you as well. I don't know if I said hi to you this morning, Anissa. If I didn't, I'm so sorry. Tams, nice to see you. They said James Brenner is the one for the disappearance of Dylan Rounds. Wow. I believe it. He looked like a bad dude. He looked like a bad dude and way entirely too close for comfort. I would like to find out with James Brenner the why. I tell you that in this business, the why is the most important aspect of anything that we cover. The why. It really does. Help. Try to understand. And once you understand, you can move forward, right? You can start looking into this. But the why is really the most important. And even in when you're talking to somebody, there's only 89 thumbs up. I'm just going to stop. We have almost 300 people in here, folks. We should have at least 150 likes. I didn't realize how important this liking system is, but it's huge. It's huge on the streets of YouTube. You got to like these things. So I'm going to sit here and just wait. And actually, as a matter of fact, I think I'm going to take a little break because I've got to get my other vape. I like that one better. She did ask a question. I know her. She is a congressman's fiance. Who? Who, Jersey girl? If you're talking about Catherine 662, if she's a congressman's fiance, now I know why she probably doesn't like me, because she's political. And I keep politics out of here. So if you're going to come in here, and not only that, if you're a politician's wife, you should know the freaking law. Just saying. Should know how the First and Second Amendment works. Just saying. Yes, hit the like buttons. We're up to 105. Good. We got 45 more to go. I always like it when first join on. I always like, yeah. She has 2 degrees. Well, if she has 2 degrees, Jersey girl, if you're talking about Catherine 662, if she has 2 degrees, then she should know better than to say something about a journalist license. Like, I'm credentialed, whether she likes it or not. I follow the law, and I didn't even have to get the credentials. I can just plaster. I mean, according to the Constitution, she's congressman's fiance, right? She should know this. She should be smarter than that, and she should know when there's a violation of law. And she argues with me every single day because she thinks if she's I don't know what congressman she's in, but if he doesn't know any better than she does, and she's got 2 degrees, maybe she needs to be working on advocating for children instead of bitching at people that are advocating for children. Just saying. This could be turned around so many different ways from Sunday, right? Do better. Do better. Put everyone down, even if they ask a question. No, they didn't. No. She was saying, oh, a PI license is like a journalist license. No, because anybody can be a journalist, right? You don't even have to apply. It is given to us under our Constitution. Under our Constitution, freely. No license, no nothing. All the requirement is you report on news, which I do, right? That's the only requirement. A PI, especially in Florida, is required to go through strict training, strict ethical background, strict, our background check, strict ethical continuing education. There are requirements, right? And then you got a guy saying, "Oh, well, I'm painting in Mississippi. I'm in Mississippi doing this." Well, I find it funny because all your documentation comes back to Florida. You told me last year you were a PI in Tampa, Florida. I've got it on video. So you're conducting business in the state of Florida as a Mississippi PI, which is completely illegal. I never said anything about the man's research abilities. I'm saying what he's doing is unlawful. And it's very simple. The law is black and white. And if you're a congressman's fiance, law should matter. Following the law should matter. And when you disregard some laws, but choose not to disregard other laws, that's the problem we have in our government, right? We can all agree that the law is supposed to be applied equally across the board to all citizens, not the ones that people like congressmen pick and choose to follow the law, right? Right? Oh, well, then I'm talking about Jersey girl, Catherine 662. If that's not who you are speaking about, then you're right. Why are you talking about a Catherine that's not even in my chat? Just saying. And if you talk to me like that again, you can leave too. It's pretty simple. I'm a pretty fair person. Talk to me respect, I give you respect. You be disrespectful to me, I'll be disrespectful to you. I treat you based upon how you treat me. Just everybody put a 1 in the chat if you feel that that's fair. I treat others as they treat me. You come with me with the BS, I will come with you with the BS. You have a problem with me? I mean, I open the phone lines. She's more than welcome to come call and talk to me, right? But she's not. She's being harassing in the chats. Exactly. Pretty simple stuff. And same to you, Jersey girl. You come in here, You want to be respectful, you can have your say, right? But the law does matter. If you don't like the law, too bad. Go out there and work to change it. Okay? He's required, while he's in the state of Florida, not to be called a PI because he does not rise to the level. He can't get credentialed in Florida. Now, you would think a legit PI could get credentialed anywhere, right? Because they're legit. But when you have somebody that only bounces to states that don't have licensing laws, that should be a first red flag. The first red flag. Like, he literally cannot call himself a PI in any other state unless he's sitting in the state of Mississippi. He literally has to be sitting in there or go to a state because his client came from Mississippi. He can go into other states that have reciprocity. And as you heard from the president of the Mississippi Professional Investigators Association, he can't even go into Alabama chasing a client, right? And since he always says he stays on the phone and the computer, that means his ass needs to be in Mississippi on the phone and in the computer. He cannot be sitting in Florida on the beach trying to find and get work for PI services or any other state that has licensure. The only place he's allowed to call himself a PI is in states that don't have licensing for PIs. That is not a PI I would ever want working for me, especially in a missing persons case, period. If you're gonna pony up $2,700, pony it up to a reputable, licensed PI, right? Not one that bounces in all the states that have no licensing laws. That tells me certain things. That tells me, one, this guy must have a background that can't pass the muster to get a PI license, which is probable, right? Or he has no legitimate purpose, because any reputable PI would be licensed in any state that requires a valid license and a process in which you have to go through. This guy doesn't want the process. He didn't want to be Florida licensed because he had to practice for 2 years. He had to be educated in PI services before he was allowed to get a license in the state of Florida. So what did he do? He mailed off a piece of paper to Mississippi, and he mailed it off while sitting his butt in Florida. How do I know this? Right? Because I know, and he knows I know. Now he's trying to say, well, I'm in Mississippi. Well, 2 days before you told me you didn't reside in Mississippi. Now all of a sudden he's in Biloxi, Mississippi, because he realized what I was saying was accurate. And if he told one more person he's a PI from Tampa, he would be prosecuted. That's how we roll here. And you can choose to believe it or choose not to believe it. I could care less. I still know what I know. I still have the documentation to prove it. And I am turning it over to the authorities that can do something about this Yahoo. You like it? You don't like it? I don't care. I'm done with the conversation. So, baby left in the apartment. This is a sad story. This is a really sad story, folks. So, in Houston, there was a child that was a little, had an injury, a small injury, nothing life-threatening or anything like that, but had a small injury, was outside all alone. Come to find out, this little boy was left in an apartment all by himself. He can't be more than 6 to 9 months old, according to law enforcement. Young child in diapers, probably messy, whatever. I don't know what happened. Okay, we still have yet to find out all the information that happened related to this. Who was that about? Like, who is the It's a guy by the name of James Michael Terry. He's a con. He cons innocent families. He trolls missing person groups on Facebook, and he reaches out to the families. My problem is I have known he's been in Florida because he told me he resides in Florida multiple times. Now, multiple times. Last year, he told me he resided in Florida until I got on to his case about his unlawful practices. He told me he resided in Florida. Then 2 days ago, I had him on an interview, or he called into my show, and I caught him, and he says, I do not reside in Mississippi. He has no business, no brick and mortar, does not reside. He is required to be inside the state of Mississippi to pick up the phone and solicit clients as a Mississippi PI. And he's been doing that from Florida, which is a clear violation of Florida law. So, and now he's trying to backstep. He's trying to dance. He's trying to say, well, I didn't change my driver's license. Well, even that is illegal. That is a crime. You are required to change your driver's license. If you no longer live at a residence and you no longer are a Florida resident, you are required to change your license within 10 to 30 days, depending on which state you move to, right? It's pretty simple. They do this for this particular reason right here. So no matter how you flip the coin, he's violating law all over the place, and people are too blind to see it because they think he has relevant information, but he doesn't. All he talks about is somebody's sexual orientation or something related to who somebody's sleeping with. Yeah, it may be juicy for the world of YouTube, but has no relevance for a case. And he's been so far off base with just about every single thing, or he's acquired information from other people and claimed it as his own investigative work when it's not. That's how he rolls. That's the con. So anyways, this little boy was found in this apartment, and he was, like I said, he had a little injury, nothing life-threatening. It's just, like maybe he hit his head or bumped something or something like that, a scrape, something to that effect, nothing life-threatening or major. But in all appearances seemed to be healthy, maybe a little dehydrated or whatever. Nobody came forward. No one has come forward saying that this child is theirs. This child was left alone, almost abandoned in an apartment complex, and not one person has bothered coming forward to say that this is their child. And, again, thank goodness this child is healthy. That in and of itself is amazing news because, we cover all these cases, and to actually find a victim alive is a few and far between. So just the story already starting out is going to be a great story. This is not going to be one of those bad stories where this child, we're looking for another missing child. This child has been found. This child will be able to be taken care of now. This is a good day for this child. It is a sad day for this child too, because nobody knows who he is. Nobody knows where he came from. Nobody knows who the parents are. And unless things have changed between, now and then, I just came across this last night. So it is possible that there is new updated information. But, here we go. I'm just going to go ahead and play this for you so you guys can understand what's going on and see what happened.
Hyundai Elantra
of course, we have
Nissan Sentra. Look what Elantra has. And
we start with the story of the baby found all alone in a Southwest Houston apartment.
And now police need help identifying the child and a guardian. The child was found at an apartment complex on South Willcrest Drive just before 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon. That's just off Bissonnette near the Sam Houston Parkway. And that's where we find our Brittany Ford. Brittany, what else are you learning?
Rebecca, the details of this are just heartbreaking. Houston police say that no missing persons report has been filed and no one has come forward looking for this child. Take a look at your screen right now. This is a photo that Houston police released of this child, believed to be somewhere between the ages or...
That is one cute little baby face. I am sorry. Look at that little baby's face. That is too cute. How can you just abandon something so stinking cute? So stinking cute.
Rather, the ages of 6 to 10 months old. Now, police say he was found Tuesday around 1 p.m. crying near an iron fence at this apartment complex in Southwest Houston. Police don't have a name or age of this little boy. They're hoping this photo will help someone identify him, leading to his parents, a family member, or really any sort of legal guardian. Authorities say the child has been taken to a nearby hospital, treated for minor injuries to his mouth. People we spoke to living here are just in utter shock.
Sad. It makes me feel like, I don't know what's going on in the world anymore. Because, who would just leave their child, unabandoned just like that in the hot, summer.
Now, if you know this child or a family member, you're being encouraged to call 911 immediately, or Houston's on emergency line. That number is on.
So I just wanted this photo to stay up just for a little bit. People, anybody that's in the Houston area, if you have seen this child or know this child's parents or legal guardian, I am asking you to reach out to the authorities and tell them who this child is, right? They need to find out who just abandoned a 6 to 10-month-old child. This is sad. I see some turtle love in here. Hello, turtles. Oh, Mama Bear, you're so sweet. You're so sweet. Reach out. This boy is just adorable. Absolutely adorable. And that beautiful, look at that beautiful, those beautiful brown eyes. How in the world can you possibly leave your child behind? And you know what? Sad but true. It most likely is substance abuse. You know, some sort of substance abuse. And it's just sad. It's just sad. Beautiful baby. If anybody's in and around Houston, Texas area, if you've seen this child, if you know who the guardians are, if you know who the parents are, reach out to the Houston police, reach out to any law enforcement. I'm pretty sure if you call any law enforcement out there and say that this is, you know, the parents of this missing, this child that was found in Houston, they will get you over to the right people. They will get you over to the right people. So horrible. But again, not the kind of horrible stuff that we talk about on here on a daily basis. This child is healthy. We know this child's being well taken care for right now. You know, this is a good day. This is a good day. What's the like count up to? Yeah, absolutely, Jay. I agree with that. That this child doesn't look like he's malnutritioned in any way. Looks like a healthy baby, and it is possible that the parents left. But again, if something happened to the parents and this child was left alone, it makes me believe it's still substance abuse related. I just don't see people leaving and not calling and not telling law enforcement that they have, you know, they left their child or they had a medical emergency, or if they got to the hospital that they were not in tow with their child. You know, there's a lot of things that can go into this. I don't know. Turtles don't dance, they boogie. I love that. We have 330 people here. Like, we are missing some major likes, folks. So if you guys are just coming in, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this page. If you guys have liked this page, throw me a thumbs up sign in the chat now. And for those that like this page but haven't liked this segment, please stop what you're doing. Go out there and give me a thumbs up. It is free to give the team a thumbs up. Who is the team? The team here is me. The team here is the mods, and the team here is the audience. So if you like yourself, go out there and give yourself a thumbs up. So this child was missing. We don't know who the parents are. If anybody, thank you guys. Thank you guys. If anybody knows anything, please do your part. Find out who these parents are and turn those in. And of course, we've already went through the time difference between Don and Andy B. So Andy Bernard, the real Andy B. What we're hearing here is that he pulled in a little after 6:30. We all know that the call came in for Summer Wells around 6:30. And according to his statement, Andy B's statement, that he pulled in shortly after he pulled in, law enforcement pulled in, and right after that, Don pulled in. So right around the 6:28, I think, is when he said he came in, 6:28 to, and we heard that, like, that's like 4 minutes after the call came in, you know, within a few minutes of the call going into law enforcement, about Summer Wells. How did Andy, Don, and law enforcement all show up at that property in and around the same time? Something's not right. Right? Can we agree on that? It just doesn't seem like something is right with that story. Either Don is lying or Andy is. But we have the text messages between Andy and Jody Sue. The messenger text messages. Apparently that's how they called and communicated with each other, was on text message through the messenger app that's associated with Facebook, right? So we know that Andy B was getting off work around that time, around the 6 o'clock time, and he was heading home. Jody wanted to go out. What does that mean? What did Jody mean? You know, there were some cryptic messages within that stream of text messages that day. You know, cryptic messages like, did you talk to this person about that about that, just very vague, but only her and Andy would know about it. And so it makes you wonder, what was that? What were they going? Where were they going to when he got off work? She was waiting. Like, she couldn't even handle him driving up the driveway, right? Are you off work yet? Great. I'm going to be down at the bottom at the driveway. Like, I'm waiting for you. I'm ready to go. That's basically what she's saying. Where are you going, Jody Sue? Are you going to go pick up those substances that you said you knew nothing about? Chris McDonough and Ellie said Ellie showed up before Don. Yeah. And that's what even Andy said. Andy said he pulled in. The law enforcement was, there was law enforcement pulling in behind him as he's coming up. And then right behind law enforcement is Don Wells. Give me just a second. Let me go over here and see what you're talking about. Okay, I think that's you. Okay. Let's see what's on here. All right, hold on just a second. I got to copy it because I'm not signed into Facebook there. So I've got to copy the link and then I got to bring it over to the other side. Give me just a second. Oh, it's saying it's not found. I can't find that link for some reason. Let me see what I'm saying. Yeah, I can't find that link. Let's see if we're not a PDF. Okay. So we do have this from Brenner. We'll get to it in just a second. Thank you. Thank you so much for sending me those emails, Tams. I appreciate it. Sorry, guys. My allergies are still bothering me. I woke up and I just... Ronnie! Didn't Don say he sped past LE and beat them to the house? I think at one point that he did try to say that early on in the investigation, or early on when he was first talking about, but I think that was stepped back a little bit. Walk back later, I'm not sure. What bothers me is, why did Don go straight to the shed at the bottom of the hill? I'm correct about that. Wrong, please let me know. That's what I heard too. I didn't hear it, but on people in the chat. But I know that there's a lot of interviews, because if you guys remember, from the time she disappeared to about, September-ish, I was not the wiser about this case. And when I did hear about this case, I was standing in front of, Brian Laundrie and Brian Laundrie's parents' house. So didn't have time to look in it. So there was a lot. There was, like, I want to say 4 or 5 months of interviews that I had missed being out in front of the Petito house, or excuse me, the laundry house, the dirty laundry house, for 5 weeks. 5 or 6 weeks. And then, of course, all the work we did after, Brian was found and everything like that. So with that being said, there's a lot of interviews that I missed, and I just ran across one that about a month ago that Cher did back on August 7th. That was very interesting. And I still keep circling back, but I still forget to keep going over there. I got to do that. It's like on the list, but I've got so much stuff going on today, especially meeting with the Florida Department of Agriculture, that I just don't have time to roll with it today. And which brings me back to what I was talking about before I got interrupted, is Molly Golightly is actually working on a very bizarre case. And I actually might start digging my toes into this really weird stuff. And if you guys haven't seen it yet, it's related to Justice for Vaughn. Justice for Vaughn. I'm not sure if you guys have heard about that. And she's this is a lady that's feeding her kids Kratom. And I don't know how many people are familiar with Kratom. Like, it's being sold around Manatee County. Like, you can purchase it by the ounce around here. And I don't know how it's lawful, to be honest with you, because it gives you opiate type of effects, and it can be very addictive. Kratom, yeah, it can be very addictive. Many people don't know, which is what's bizarre to me as to why it's being able to be sold. And apparently, this lady thinks that she's on this weird diet. Her husband and apparently maybe a child has already had seizures. I'm not sure where, again, I'm just kind of getting little bits and pieces of it. I am going to probably run with something, but I need to have a better understanding of what's going on behind the scenes. But that kratom is really bad stuff. You know, I've always heard that it was bad. I didn't need to try it. I've never tried it, never done anything about it. I think it started making its rounds. I want to say just a few years ago when all these head shops and smoke shops for these vape products came out. I started noticing signs going up for kratom, you know, XYZ dollars per ounce or something like what is kratom? And so I looked it up one day and I was reading all of this stuff online and I'm like, ew, like this stuff doesn't sound good. You know, people are saying that it's herbal, it's good for the body, it's this, that, and the other. Everything I read in all these medical journals said just the opposite. It is very dangerous. It has a lot of side effects. It can be highly addictive. It has the opiate type of effects. Many people were using this to try to get off opiates, which they failed because this is, you know, obviously probably not as strong, but they even equated it to something like morphine and other stuff. Stuff's not good. I don't advocate for it at all. I think it's probably illegal to be giving to children in and of itself. But there was this lady that's, I guess, some kind of makeup artist, really beautiful woman, but just she looks and seems very sick in the head. And she's putting her family through an awful lot. And it sounds like she might have something called Munchausen's by proxy. I don't know. There's a lot of people reaching out. I don't know where she's from. Apparently, this is all being shown all over Facebook. She's documenting all of this. And it's just, to me, it's crazy. And her and what makes it adds insult to injury is that her husband was in the military, you know, and we try to back our military, and, you know, we support military and we support our law enforcement. And to think that this man is struggling and tried to hang himself and, you know, do a lot of stuff to himself because he's not right. You know, she's pushing this on her family, but at some point, I'm surprised that the husband just didn't say, you know, I'm not doing this, you know, and put his foot down. Like, it's not worth his life. But from what it sounds is that she's in Tucson, Arizona. Yeah. And it sounds to me like, you know, she might be doing some damage. And it sounds to me like people have been reaching out to law enforcement. So I think law enforcement is well aware of this issue. I don't know if, you know, law enforcement really needs to be called. I think they've been, I could be wrong about it, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people have called and complained about this. So she's been running parts related to justice for Vaughn. And I may be jumping into that. I've got to do some more due diligence. I've got to research more. I just found out about it this morning and just wanted to give a shout out to her about this case, because apparently it's a little cray-cray, right? It's a little cray-cray. So getting over to the Dylan rounds, which we weren't going to talk, but somebody was kind enough and gracious enough to send me some information through my email. So just wanted to read some information here. Any felony that is not otherwise a crime violation is minor victim, the possession of the use of firearm or destructive device. So they're arresting him on that. I got to go through this. I don't want to throw this up just yet. I want to be able to read this. Let me go ahead and print that out. But thank you, Tams. I appreciate it. I'll get that printed out. Going around. Let's see. Okay. I do know that the family did. Oh, thank you. That one did work. That one did work for me. So I will tell you that there are some changes going on in the Dylan Rounds case. I've been hearing about the statement of the family. You know, people that were on a few channels, one that I'm not going to bring up anymore because he's not going to get any more of my attention because of this Yahoo PI, was on there, you know, trying to help set up, you know, searches. And again, the family doesn't care. She's vegan and claims to be herbal. All that this woman is whack from a lack of nutrition. Yeah. She's so busy trying to get thin and trying to be thin that she is literally putting her entire family in jeopardy. Kratom addiction requirement treatment. Just like any other addiction, it can cause painful withdrawal symptoms even when a person uses it to treat with opiate withdrawal. Yeah, Eastern Tennessee girl. The stuff's not good. The stuff's not good. And again, it to me should be regulated. You know, they're pulling jewels off the shelves of stores, which they have not proved outside of saying, oh, there's too many young kids going out and buying vapes. Well, you know what? You left all the other vapes on the shelves. Do you honestly think it's going to curtail the use of teenagers because you take one product off the line? Like, what idiot in Washington actually believes that that's possible? But hey, you know, they do it anyways. Why didn't you do that to the cigarette companies when we were children? Why didn't you try to save our lives then? You know, why didn't, instead of you taking just, you know, Marlboros off the market, maybe take the Winstons and Salems off the market too? I'm just saying, right? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So you got people out here from the FDA shutting down Juul, the manufacturer, one of the top leading providers of, you know, nicotine vape products. And then on the other hand, the FDA is letting these kratom being sold without any regulations all over the United States, but it has opiate type of effects to you and opiate type of withdrawals, not just nicotine. Like, it can cause major damage, but the FDA doesn't care about that. They only care about being pissed off at Juul. I mean, let's call it what it is, right? You would think that the FDA would be more concerned about this kratom than they are about a Juul in teenage use. Teenagers are going to be teenagers, folks, no matter how you flip it. You know, you're going to, no matter what generation is going to come out, there's going to be people a part of that generation that are going to be nicotine users, and there are going to be people part of that generation that are going to be non-nicotine users. If we're reducing the nicotine users over the years, we should be good, right? That's the name of the game. What does it matter if they're smoking a vape if it's not causing lung cancer? Cigarettes that you guys shoveled down everybody's throat made them, you know, all these laws related to cigarette consumption a day late and a dollar short after half the country was addicted to the crap. Now you guys are mad because there's a safer nicotine product. I'm not saying it's safe. Nothing comes. I mean, you drink too much water, you can kill yourself. Like, nothing is safe. Let's be real. But a safer product. People that are addicted to nicotine need nicotine products. Would you rather them be puffing a stinky cigarette that's giving them lung cancer, or would you rather them be puffing on a vape? Take your pick. Maybe Big Pharma would like that cigarette dangling out of their mouth, but, you know, the family of those people would much rather see them vape. Just saying. Just saying. My disclaimer, my opinion, I'm entitled to it. If you don't agree, that is okay. I'm not putting a trigger warning up to appease YouTube over a talk about nicotine that's sold for anybody over the age of 18. Yet kratom, on the other hand, you can go get addicted to something like that that's being unregulated by the FDA. I call that stupidity. Okay? That's one of the stupid moments in our country, to be honest with you. So also, oh, good news. So we got one good news, two bad news. Okay? One good news and two bad news. But getting back to Dylan Round's family has asked everybody, please don't go out in the area and search for this man. They do not want anybody out there. They do not want anybody searching for any more information. This could be because they might be getting close to the answers. They don't want anybody out there disturbing stuff. So it does sound like something is definitely brewing in the Dylan Rounds case. And we're all going to wait here with bated breath. Just to go over what Box Elder County Sheriff's Department has stated 12 hours ago, the law enforcement investigation into the disappearance of Dylan Rounds is ongoing. Law enforcement continues to be in the Lucent area. At this time, there are no organized searches planned for members of the public to participate in that are supported or authorized by law enforcement. We are asking the public not to search this area as it has the potential to compromise the investigation. We are working with the Rounds family, and they have asked us to share this following statement. As a family, we are not asking for or requesting any additional public searches for Dylan Rounds at this time. We request that everyone allow law enforcement to continue their organized investigation without the hindrance or interference in order to avoid jeopardizing the investigation. We thank everyone for the continued support in finding Dylan Rounds. That is true. But, they're asking kindly, please don't go out there and please don't search. Now, they're saying it's going to compromise the investigation. Here's where I stand on this. We are YouTubers. We're out there. This is part of the process. We have a Second Amendment right to find out this information. I'm not advocating to go against the family's wishes because I support the family and I don't want anybody poo-pooing on this investigation. I don't want them poo-pooing on this investigation. I don't like them making law enforcement's life harder, but we're constitutionally protected. And with that being said, if you chose to do a search because you wanted to do a search and against the family's wishes, you are in your right to do so. Unless the place is cordoned off, you're in your right to do so. And I want to make sure that I make my statements known. I agree with what they're saying 100%. And I hope that people do follow the family's wishes. I want to make sure that that's clear. My statement here is I hope everybody out there follows this family wishes and do not organize searches, search parties, or start getting cameras to get content for YouTube. But again, it's what I do, and it's hard for me to tell somebody else not to do that. Because if I was in and around the area, bet your bottom dollar that I would be out there with my camera, searching and looking and bringing content back to you guys. That's what we do. So it is, it is a balancing act of making sure that you don't disclose information that can affect the investigation. If you're an irresponsible person on YouTube, you probably shouldn't be out there, because we want to hear information about cases. Even we always want the latest and greatest information about cases, but to what end? Definitely not to compromise an investigation. We want to know information, but we want to be responsible with the information that we get and obtain, right? Because our field is not a regulated field and cannot be a regulated field because of the Constitution. It does, the people out there, we have to be responsible. We have to be responsible. We have to be ethical in what we do. Now, again, this is the statement of the law enforcement. This is the statement of Dylan Round's family. But remember, this is another small county that does not like the attention of the nation with that magnifying glass looking down on them. This is kind of like, Hawkins County 2.0. They don't like all this attention. They don't want all this attention. Like when you start putting this much attention in one space with so little people, so little residents, you really kind of see what's really going on in that area. And sometimes it's not a good look for the county, right? It's not a good look for the state because they're so small. They're allowed to get away with a lot more than the rest of the world is. They kind of govern themselves. Nobody likes to hear that when we are in a world of law and order. But people move out there in those desolate areas to have that lifestyle. So it's kind of like this, this balancing act. How is Doug? So it is my understanding that Doug Live from Northport did have a surgery. Today is the 7th. So if I'm not mistaken, he is actually having another surgery today, if I'm correct. I haven't really been, I know my biggest thing is that he survives, and when I first ran with Doug Live from Northport, he was on life support. It was a very scary situation. It was a touch and go situation. And, wanted to make sure everybody knew what happened because this is YouTube on YouTube. This went from YouTube to real life. This is exactly what I had been saying all along would happen, and it finally did. And this has got to come to a stop. But if somebody, it does sound like he's doing better. He may make a full recovery. We're praying for a full recovery, but again, guys, he still needs all the prayers he can get because he's not out of the woodworks yet. I mean, think about it. He just had open heart surgery or if it wasn't open heart surgery, he still had to have a procedure on the heart on Monday, and he has to have a second procedure today or tomorrow. If I believe, I'm almost 90% sure it's today. It's a sad story. It was completely preventable, and now you have a, at the time when I first reported it, a YouTuber fighting for his life on life support, and one being booked in the city jail. It was horrific. It was scary because it just really showed how dangerous the work we do here is. And not only that, but people keep saying that YouTube's not real. And I keep trying to tell people, yes, it is. This is not a game. It's not a joke. You're dealing with real people's lives. We're not some kind of made up characters on a movie. This is real. This is real life. This is my life. My name is Andra. I am really a person. Pinch me. Guess what? Born Andra, not a character on some kind of soap opera. I'm a real person. And when you do things to me that are to hurt me, guess what? They hurt. I'm not a character. This is not a competition. This is not who can sink whose battleship, right? But it continues. Even with some of the people that I have been trying to work with to advocate that this bullying comes, is to stop, turns around and does a despicable act themselves. And it's just, you can't advocate for something if you're not going to walk the walk and talk the talk. And that's why I won't go into the other thing that happened yesterday. I will not talk about it on this channel. I think it was unnecessary. And you made a jerk. You made me feel sorry for a complete utter jerk. Anyways. So some good news here, though. That was from the Dylan Rounds family. They don't want any more investigation, but we have some good news here. We're always complaining about all these people in this country that are just doing despicable things in all these different states. But I got good news for you today. And many of you guys may not have heard about it. Maybe some of you guys did hear about it. But we had Operation Northstar happen. And I got notification yesterday that 1,500 fugitives were arrested and now will be held accountable for the crimes that they did. And I wanted you guys to watch this.
Thanks for joining us here on News Nation Rush Hour. I'm Nicole Burley, and violent crime rates are rising in several major cities as the country grapples with the latest mass shooting at that holiday parade in Illinois. So far this year, violent crime is up roughly 9% in Chicago and Washington, D.C., and about 8% in Los Angeles compared to this time a year ago. And as many Americans grow increasingly concerned, News Nation has some new details about a sweeping federal operation. Correspondent Evan Lambert is live for us in Washington. So, Evan, it's all aimed at combating violent crime.
Nicole, the U.S. Marshals say that they targeted dangerous criminals in this month-long operation. One of the people arrested is being accused of a double homicide that dates all the way back to 2003. There's a parole compliance check. U.S. Marshals showing up to the doorsteps of at least 1,500 people they call some of the most violent criminals in the country. It's all part of the month-long sting called Operation Northstar. Attorney General Merrick Garland revealed the results of the effort today.
We are incredibly grateful for the efforts to take the most dangerous shooters off the street.
The round-the-clock mission focusing on 10 of the highest crime cities across the country, driving a national surge in some violent crimes and murders, including Chicago, Memphis, D.C., and L.A. And the Department of Justice says the stings were worth the effort. Federal authorities and local partners arresting 230 people for homicides, 131 for sexual assault, and seizing 166 guns, more than $50,000 in cash, and 33 kilograms of illegal drugs.
I just want to stop there. Okay. We have 1,500 of the most dangerous people related to illegal drugs. They have 33 kilos. That's what I'm understanding. 33 kilos of illegal drugs but only recovered $50,000 in cash. Now I listen, thank you, Men in Blue. I appreciate it. I appreciate the work that you're doing to keep the streets of the United States clean. 1,500 is just a drop in the bucket. You need to do more of these types of things. But does anybody else, like, we watch somebody with maybe 1 or 2 kilos, right, going on, and what happens, right? They have like $100,000 or $200,000 or $300,000, and now we have 1,500 people brought in this massive sweep, and you only recovered $50K. Like, I mean, I'm telling you, when I watched this for the first time, I questioned this very thing, because I know some pretty bad dudes, and $50,000 is usually only on one of them. And you guys seriously took down 1,500 people and only collected $50,000. There's something going on there. I'm just saying, folks. I'm just saying, we back the blue. But if you guys knew some of the stories I've heard, they do take the money. Now, granted, they don't take it for themselves. Many people say, oh, they stole the money. They're using it for their homes and stuff. No, that's not necessarily what happens. What they typically do, in my understanding, is they do take some of that money. They stick it in a drawer. So when they need to go make buys or busts or something, they have money. It's illegal as hell, but it does happen across the board in some of these things. So I just found it funny. 1,500 people and only $50K. That just doesn't make sense to me. I'm sorry. I love law enforcement, but does anybody else question that? If you guys question that, 1,500 people, worst of the worst criminals, and the feds only recovered $50K. Put a 1 if you believe that $50K was the only amount that was received. I'm thinking that money's got to be way up there. But again, I'm just speculating. Yeah. So let's keep going.
Hundreds of individuals just enjoying South Street, as they do every single weekend, when the shooting broke out.
Some of the most high-profile fugitives caught include 2 men accused in the June mass shooting in Philly's entertainment district of South Street, which sent hundreds running for cover, killing 3 and wounding at least 11 others. And Nicole, the Attorney General is saying that the Department of Justice will continue these efforts to combat violent crime throughout the summer. Back to you.
You got pretty eyes. I got to be honest with you. You got pretty eyes. So let's get up here. Okay, just a couple more things that I wanted to touch base with you guys on before I call it. Let me see something here. I can't tell if Dolly is going live or he's playing a video. I can't tell, but so they say maybe more money. Yeah. Something's got to give here. Something's got to give here, because you're talking. Yeah. There's 1,500 people. Come on now. There's got to be a hell of a lot more money than $50,000. I mean, you're talking about the worst of the worst. You know, I'm sorry. I just think that $50,000 is a little light. If I, again, don't want to be disrespectful, especially to the U.S. Marshals, which is the one that conducted this. So I just want to read this to you from a statement that was put out yesterday. Operation Northstar targeted the most dangerous criminals in the communities with high levels of violence. The U.S. Marshal Services has concluded a high-impact fugitive apprehension initiative aimed at combating violent crime in 10 cities with a significant number of homicides and shootings. This 30-day initiative, called Operation Northstar, resulted in the arrest of 1,501 fugitives, violent criminals, self-identified gang members in Baltimore, Chicago, Houston, Indianapolis, Los Angeles, Memphis, New Orleans, New York City, Philadelphia, and Washington, D.C. Operation Northstar focused on fugitives wanted for the most serious, violent, and harmful offenses, including homicide, SA, robbery, aggravated assault. Operation Northstar investigators prioritized their efforts to include individuals using firearms in their crimes or who exhibited risk factors associated with violence. The Justice Department is committed to doing everything we can to protect our community from violent crimes and in the plague of gun violence. Attorney General Merrick Garland. Operation Northstar reflects the approach we are taking across the department to work in partnership with law enforcement agencies and communities to identify and hold accountable those responsible for the greatest violence. I am grateful to the U.S. Marshal Service and many federal, states, and local task force partners who carried out this operation and who continue to work to keep the American people safe each and every day. About time to hear that from this administration. I'm not getting into it. So, we just have, this can go on several more times. I would like to see this initiative, because we know 1,500 people out of 320 million people in the United States is a drop in the bucket of the actual crime we have here and the people associated with those crimes. And I'm glad that they're finally stepping up to the plate and doing something about it. However, I want to see more. I don't want to see one and done. We did this one time. We, gathered 1,500 people, pat ourselves on the back, call it a day, and never do it again, right? This is more than a PR stunt for many of us, especially many people that live in these very violent communities and areas. We want to see more of this. We want these animals brought to justice. We want them off the street so they don't hurt the innocent again, because it's the innocent people in the crossfires of a lot of these gang shootings that are the result, and the innocent lives lost because of these thugs. And we want them off the street. We want to continue. We want to give the U.S. Marshals and Operation Northstar a round of applause. We want you guys to continue to do initiatives like this, several times a year. This is what's needed to really dig in. If we start now, we can really clean up and make this a much safer place to live years in the future. So very good stuff, very good, important work that they're doing. So the next thing I was going to call, if you see, I had Lydae Arnold's on my thumbnail. The name, this is her right here. And so I went to run the story, and guess what popped up? We have a new face out of Baltimore, 4 years old, that is missing. So I'm really trying to watch the Missing and Exploited Children's page and give some insight. I only did a little bit of research on Lydae Arnold. I still have to do Isaiah, because when I came in this morning was the first time that I saw Isaiah. Just went in the system yesterday. So another poor kid. This child here disappeared on June 26th. Okay. She's a missing child. There is nothing hardly out there on this child. I tried to find out some basic information. This is out of St. Louis, Missouri. So I went to St. Louis. I'm looking for any articles about this Amber Alert of this beautiful missing child. And it was almost like an act of Congress to find anything on her. And guess what I was able to find? I was able to find that she's missing, the information you see here, and one little sentence that says she may be with an adult male. That's it. That's it. News media outlets, you guys have got to do better in reporting Amber Alert children. Literally nothing online about this child. You don't believe me? Go online and look for information and see how hard it is to get any more information than this little bit of information you see here. We have no idea the factors around her disappearance. Was she at a house? Did she disappear from a home? Did she disappear from a playground? Where was she? No basic information to help law enforcement one tiny bit to bring this child home. It is sad. It is sad. And I looked, my notes here, can't find anything on mainstream media. So sad. Let's see if we can find something on her. Might be with an adult male. Those are my notes. That is a shame. You got a 7-year-old child missing, and the most we get is this, and that she could possibly be with an adult male. That's all the information we have. Oh, you'll do fine. Just take a breath. Just explain the situation. Tell them that you want to resolve it. You know, you're here in good faith. And just take a deep breath. I'm sure everything would be okay, but we will be giving Ange our prayers and support. If you guys can throw some prayer hands up for Ange Carter this morning, I'd greatly appreciate it. Absolutely, Amy. Fake stream, lame stream media. And this is a poor child that's been missing for days. And I looked into her yesterday and could barely find a stitch of information on this beautiful girl. So we want, if you guys can look up her, if you guys can find me any information, any updates on her stuff, if you guys are in the St. Louis, Missouri area, if you can send me some information on her, I'd greatly appreciate it. This is, again, another missing child. And as I promised my audience, you know, we are taking this platform, the Summer Wells Army platform, and we are going to try to do the best we can for all children that are missing. And we really want to really drive that message home that there are a lot of people that need our help. And this is no doubt one of them. We know no information about it, but she obviously rose to the level of an Amber Alert. And it's truly sad. I can't find one article about her in the newspaper. It's sad. It's sad to me. It's just sad. So, guys, that was the last bit of my spiel on here. Last little of my spiel. So I'm going to open the phone lines literally just for a moment, just to see if anybody would like to call in. Maybe 20 minutes worth of phone calls. Maybe not. Maybe some. Maybe it's less. But I got to go see if. Hold on a second. Let me see one thing before I open the phone lines. Sorry, guys. Got to do what I got to do, right? Right. Okay. What is this? This is okay, guys. So I'm going to kill the phones today. We're not going to do phone service. I just realized that Dolly is live. So, and he's going to be discussing Cody Bigsby. He's on the hunt today for Cody Bigsby. So we definitely want to support him in his, in Virginia, looking and helping with the Cody Bigsby case. So with that being said, guys, I love each and every one of you guys. God bless you. Go over to Dolly's channel and let's see what he's doing today. So take care, each and every one of you. Have an amazing Thursday. We will be back here Friday. I promise. I'm going nowhere. Guidance, I wish we could call in, and I need to get a hold of you. If you don't hear from me later this afternoon, please reach out to me so we can get something set up for you for your interview on the Bullhorn Betty channel. I appreciate it. Again, everybody, God bless. Ange, I have all the faith in the world that you will be fine. So just take a deep breath. Don't let your nerves get. Just tell the story as you see it, and just let whatever's going to happen, happen. And don't stress yourself out too much for it. Let's go over and support Dolly right now as he is on the hunt for Cody Bigsby. This is what we go out to do. And I always support any creator out there that's really trying to do good. Obviously, he is doing his best. So let's go over there, give him some Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club love. Go over and do a Bullhorn Betty bomb on Dolly Vision. All right, guys. I love you. God bless. Have an amazing day. Go watch Dolly. And don't forget to be fearless, folks.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.